Korn or Slipknot? Oh, you got it? Throw it out? Yeah, we'll do it in a second. You can come up first when we started.
He got it and he saved it for him.
I guarantee it. I saw it online doing shit.
You did it? You took a picture? No, I said I got you covered. All right, good. You know what?
All right, cool. Thanks for hanging out with us. So here's what we're going to do. Ed and Fieldy are going to just chat with you guys for a little bit. Hey, I don't remember you. No,
You lied. You lied.
Look at it. Look at it.
So, I got you. So Ed and Fieldy are going to chat with you guys for a little bit, just kind of talk about life and whatever we're going to talk about. And then afterwards, everybody's going to get a chance to get your picture taken. We're not going to do autographs, and because there's too many people, you know, we'll filter you all through. Everybody can get a picture. But while they're chatting with you guys, let's just keep it kind of cool and calm and let them just kind of share what they're going to share, because sometimes they don't talk so loud. So you need to be able to hear what they got to say. And then afterwards, everybody will get a picture. So just hang out. We're going to have a good time.
Thank you, Brandon. Welcome, y'all.
Welcome.
So, me and a lot of my friends, Fieldy, a lot of us actually used to roll through town, play our concert, collect the check, get out. And it was all about us, you know what I mean? And so once we got our lives in order and stopped ruining every inch of our lives, actually, me and him started coming out. We wanted to just gather with no agenda, just gather some fans together and just talk about life and tell our stories and everything. So that's why we're here. Welcome. Woo! Yeah! I actually met this dude when I was 12 years old in junior high. I was in the Iron Maiden, Motley Crue, Rat, all that stuff. He was into Duran Duran. And
better bass players.
So yeah,
I ended up being metal. He converted me.
Yeah, I converted him. Now a couple of years later, you know, you go through phases when you're a kid. I was a punk rocker one year. I had like the red hair, all that stuff. Yeah.
I wish I could have seen that.
LAPD. So yeah, we you know, I started hanging out with him a lot when we were like 15. We got in these. He actually played guitar. I listened to him play guitar. I go, no, you should play bass, man. They're less strings. He wasn't that good. He could play he played Freebird or something like that. But
start somewhere.
Yeah. So I started at 10 years old, and I got a little better because I was practicing for years. But so we would start bands, and then we would break up, and then play one show with another band, and then break up and start another one. So it was like that, just little cheesy teenager stuff, you know. So around 17, him and Monkey started listening to the Chili Peppers, doing the slap bass and the funk guitar stuff. I was like, I could not do it. I cannot bring the funk. I still can't bring the funk at all. So they went off and they started LAPD. Whoever said that, it was him, Monkey, and these other, or David too, huh? Yeah. And so they went and did that, and I was their roadie. So I would just carry their gear while they play shows. They'd give me like some drink tickets to pay me, like, here, go get a beer here. And so I did that for a while and started partying a lot, you know, and we were all living, or a lot of us were living in like a little apartment together. And I remember I started trying out mushrooms and acid and stuff back then. It was fun at first, but then I had the bad trips, you know, and all that. And so I was just, you know, I got sick and tired of just not doing nothing with my life, actually. So I called my dad. I was like, Dad, can I come home? He's like, cut your hair and come work at Chevron, because he owned a Chevron. I was like, all right, I'll cut it. Then I cut it off. I look like Kramer from Seinfeld.
You look like Krusty the Clown.
Yeah. Well, he told me, no, forget it. I ain't going to go into it. But, so right when I was going to move, these guys asked me, why don't you stay here and join our band? And I'm like, I just cut my hair, man. What are you talking about? Okay. But I did anyway. I joined the band, and just the guitar sound went through the roof. It was like it was the birth of the Korn sound. We had a different singer, but we played one show and ended up kicking him out because he kind of sounded like Alice in Chains singer too much, you know. And I didn't think we could get a deal with him, so we found Jonathan in Bakersfield.
Sex art.
Yeah, we went to a Sex Art show and saw this stick figure freak dude up there shaking and stuff. We were like, oh, we went back home. We were like, man, we need to get a singer like that. And David and Fieldy or one of them goes, why don't we just steal him? So they called him up, found out what band he was in, called him up, talked him into coming down. And he's like, no, I work on dead bodies in the coroner's office, so I got a good job. I can't do it all.
True story, man.
It's true. And then he came down, jammed with us. He loved the sound, the Korn, the birth of the Korn sound so much that he quit the dead body business, moved up.
Dead bodies everywhere.
And he ended up working at Pizza Hut instead of in the coroner's office. And we started Korn. And we came up with a name. Started playing around Hollywood. Next thing you know, we got a record deal, recorded our first record, hit the road, man. We went on tour with so many bands from like No Doubt to Bad Religion to House of Pain, Biohazard. Then we you did?
Yeah.
Dang, you're old.
Pain and Limp Bizkit. Way back in.
That was later.
So
We're going to get the answer later.
Can we hear
We'll
that
finish the
story?
story.
Okay.
Jonathan came up with it underneath the Huntington Beach Pier, but like, yeah.
We'll
So
get to that.
once we hit on Megadeth tour, we started growing, selling like 3,000 records a week, I think, back then. Were you working it? Weren't you working it? Yeah, we were doing some good. A lot of our record company people are from here, so. But and then we hit the Aussie tour, went gold. That's $500,000 for those of you
Oh,
who.
500,000 copies.
Oh, sorry.
I wish it was $500,000. We didn't get no money after that. I had a gold record and still lived in an apartment.
Yeah, we did.
I was
So-
still cleaning carpet on the side.
It was crazy. And our second record came out, hit #3 on Billboard. We started getting a little MTV airplay, and we were still in like little places. People think we're rock stars. We ain't rock stars yet. We're not rich yet, anyway. But the third record came out, went through the roof, hit #1. Some of you guys saw us on TRL, a little station called MTV. Used to play music.
Yep.
They played it. They played us every day. Our fans were so loyal, and they would call in, and we'd be fighting NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all that, you know, and it was just like pop against rock, and so it was fun in those days. But then when you get that big, it's like every Coke dealer in every town wants to come and hang out with the band at every show. So it's like we just got out of control, man, and then we fell into all the traps, you know. It was just like I did every single drug except heroin. I fell into pills. I fell into cocaine. Methamphetamines was off and on. It's dirty drugs, so I tried to, you know, keep it under control. But in 2003, on the Lincoln Park tour, I ended up doing meth for. I did it one weekend. Ended up on a 2-year binge of meth. I did it every single day. I mean, I slept once in a while, but I was just like tweaking, and I had my dealers send me meth all over like if I ran out in Europe, they'd send me 8 balls in Europe. I was at a low point, man, and that's why I had to bounce out of Korn for a while. I ended up in this church, and I was like, I do not want to go to church. All I know about church is like Ned Flanders, you know? It's like the dorky people, you know, that's what I thought. I went to this church, and
No, you didn't.
people started pointing at people. There's like guys with tattoos and everything, and they're like, see that guy? He used to be in a gang, and da-da-da-da. She used to be a prostitute, and I'm like, it was more scarier in the church than it was like in my neighborhood. So I was just, I'll check it out, and I raised my hand. I asked Christ into my life. Everything totally changed right then. I decided to walk away from Korn and raise my daughter. And a few months later, this guy went through a similar thing that had nothing to do with me. It was a trip.
Yeah, as it was all happening, there was a lot of, in my life, there was so much of this, you know, we had 35 million records worldwide at this point. So I started running on power, pride, and money. And I'm watching backstage kind of divide where we were in there's 5 of us, 5 tour buses. So none of us were even together anymore. So I'm seeing this division happen because at the end of the night, a lot of this nights would end with some violence, you know, and I got violent where I would start destroying dressing rooms, you know, and I think I started scaring, you know, everyone away from my circle, and they all had their hang-ups. Everybody started dividing.
You scared your band members away.
I did. You know, that's what happened. You guys didn't know, but Korn's almost falling apart backstage, and we're still doing concerts. We'd make the concert. And it got to a point where it was getting so bad that I was looking at everybody's personal lives, and I'm like, I got married, I ripped that marriage apart. And then I got married again, had 2 daughters, tried to get it together, and I ripped that marriage apart. So my personal life's falling apart, and I'm watching all these guys. By that time, all 5 of us have been married and all ripped their marriages apart, families falling apart. So everything's falling apart, man. And I'm like, what's going on? This was supposed to be fun. And yeah, we get on stage and we're banging our head up there and doing all that. That's only for like 1 hour. And the rest of our life is falling apart. And I just didn't get it. And we're trying to fill it with money and buying parties and buying more drugs and more drinking. And it's like, it's just going the opposite way we thought. And it got to a point where we were all breaking up. My family was definitely gone. My friends were leaving because we were destroying everything. I ended up going to jail a few times, you know, from my nights of violence and, you know, just getting crazy. And then I get a phone call. My dad gets sick, and he's